Hello, and welcome to Appleton Engaged. I'm your host, Timber Smith, DEI coordinator for the City of Appleton.
And I'm your co-host today, Brianna McCooley, and I work in public health with the City of Appleton.
Hey, Brianna, thank you for filling in today. Appreciate that a ton.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited.
All right. Well, Appleton Engaged is a podcast that explores the many organizations and resources that make our community a great place to live, work, and play. So whether you're a longtime resident or just getting to know Appleton, join us and let's learn about our community together. I'm pretty excited about today's guest.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about the symphony yet, so I'm
Excellent.
really looking forward to learning.
All right. So this week's guest is Jamie LaFreniere. Wait, did I get that right?
Well done.
Well done?
Yes.
Good
job.
I feel good about that. Jamie is the executive director of the Fox Valley Symphony and Orchestra. How's it going, Jamie?
Very good. Thank you for having me. Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
Thanks for being here. You ready to jump in?
Oh, yeah. Let's do this.
Okay. Can you please share a little something about yourself and your association with Appleton and the Fox Cities region?
Yeah, well, I was really happy to move here about 16 years ago. I came from Upper Michigan, and I started at the Fox Valley Symphony Orchestra right when I got into town, and I've been with them ever since because I just fell in love.
Oh,
So it's the Fox Valley Symphony family to me.
yes.
Delighted to be here. Yep.
All right. You said Northern Michigan. Does that make you a Youper?
I am. I don't talk about it much. We can't talk about that. Yes, I'm a Youper. Yeah.
Wait, we don't talk about Youper.
We don't talk about being a Youper. Yeah, I'm from Marquette, Michigan, so you can't get much farther north without swimming to Canada.
Oh, okay.
It's beautiful up there, though.
Yeah, trees and water. We have trees and water in spades. Yeah, that's what we got, trees and water.
How did you get into the symphony?
That's a really good question. I worked part-time. Well, I used to work for Charter Media, which is a media company. I used to do video production, and I did a video that actually won a national award for a very tiny orchestra up in Marquette, Michigan, the Marquette Symphony Orchestra.
Wow.
And when I was moving down here, I started looking for jobs in media and in marketing, and there was a job with Fox Valley Symphony Orchestra. And ours was so small, and it was all volunteer-based. I thought, wow, you can do this like full-time for a job? That would be great. So I looked into it, and sure enough, you know how it is when you work with nonprofits, the more background you have, the better, because you have to wear many hats, right?
Absolutely.
So I put on the business hat, I put on the marketing hat, and did a whole bunch of stuff. And, as staff turned around, I think my job title has changed 7 times. I always say they made me executive director because we ran out of job titles to try. So, so here I am.
That's so fabulous. So it was just a
that.
natural progression.
It was. I learned every different job as we went and just kept adding to the list. Yeah, it's been great.
Okay. Can you please tell us about the Fox Valley Symphony Orchestra? And can you just tell us about it?
Yeah, well, we started in 1966. So we're not new. We love it here. Our home is pretty much the PAC, the Fox Cities PAC. We're amazingly blessed to have a Broadway house right here in town. What a great place to perform. My goodness. But we also like to play outside of there. We have on-the-town concerts, which bring us all over the community. We like to go anywhere in the Fox Cities. Most recently, we just played at the Core in downtown Appleton also.
Okay.
We love that. And then, of course, we have our big concert out at Timber Rattler Stadium every summer. So we'll talk a little bit about that later, too.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. And we have about 75 musicians, all from the region. And, these are our local teachers and coaches, so they're really all part of the community, too. So that's what I mean when I say Fox Valley Symphony family. I mean it, because it's great. Well, our audience is, the students will come and see their teachers up on stage, and that's probably our favorite. It's so cute to see them react.
That sounds really exciting. Do you recruit for the musicians? Or
Yeah, we have auditions.
Okay.
Yeah, so people come and audition from all over the region. We have people all the way down in Madison come up and audition, in Milwaukee come and audition. But our core is mainly, Appleton area, Appleton region, Greenby to Oshkosh. But yeah, we do. So we audition usually once a year to add new people on, and people who are retiring and leaving us. That happens too. We always think of it as a lifetime appointment. People stay with us. A lot of people are retiring right now, in fact, from their college jobs, and they're staying with us. So we're lucky that we get to keep them.
Oh, that's pretty. Is there is there an average age to the people in the symphony, or is there an average, I don't know, background other than
Not really.
being able to play amazing music?
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about it is no, not really. It's great because we've had one of the best things is we've had people progress up from our youth orchestra all the way into their college careers if they go around here locally to college. And then after they graduate college, they can still play with us no matter what their career field is. They're not all professional musicians, as in they don't do that. Some of them have day jobs, if you will.
Right.
So, they might be a teacher or they might be an accountant or they might be a lawyer or something else, but they still come and play with us because that's their background. So I love that. So we've had college students who audition in, and like I said, we have some people who are retired actually from their job and they still play with us. So it's awesome, the range we get.
I love this idea of music bringing people together
Yeah,
and bringing people of different, it sounds like different generations,
absolutely.
different professions, just different places, but like all gathering in Appleton.
Yeah, it's so different. These are probably people you wouldn't hang out with, because it's so different and so varied and such a wide range of backgrounds and interests. But when you get up on stage, same thing for in the audience. When you get in the audience, all that stuff falls away, right? None of that matters. It's just music. Music is universal. Music is this connector that it doesn't matter. Music doesn't care where you're from, right? Music doesn't care how much money you have in your bank account. Music doesn't care, what you do for a living. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Music is universal on stage and in the audience. So
That's true.
that's a big part of our message. Yeah.
Who is a big part of the people that go to the symphony? Like, I'm not going to lie. That scares me a little bit when I hear symphony. You know what I mean?
I do. And I'm glad you said that. Thank you actually for saying that. Can you say a little bit more about that? Because I really want to talk about that. That's a great. I love when people say that to me. I really do. I know that sounds strange. I don't want people to be scared of the orchestra.
Well,
but
I mean, it's just.
I love it because we can talk about that.
Particularly when, it's just not something that was ever introduced to me. There's definitely stereotypes associated with going to the symphony and what I think I'm going to hear.
Yeah.
Through watching TV or movies, I have a stereotype of who I think goes to the symphony.
Yeah.
And so, all of that doesn't match with timbre.
Yeah, with you. You don't see yourself there.
I don't see myself there. And wait, I'm all about a good entertainment. So if I know that it's good entertainment, but I haven't had enough, what I'll say, media signaling
Yeah. No,
to
I'm with
say
you.
that the symphony's for me too.
And that, oh my God, I should have you come with me everywhere I go. Because that's exactly, I love when people say this to me. And when we started, you said you didn't know a lot about the symphony either. So do you have any preconceived stereotypes in your head?
Yeah. So I'm one of those people that had to take the basic music classes because I couldn't even read notes.
Right. Yeah.
I appreciate music, but it's, it's difficult for me. And I would think that my family would probably agree that I'm not a great musician. So when it comes to the symphony, I think, some of what Timber was saying, right? You get real dressed up, but also I feel like I need to know a lot about music and the background. And so sometimes I get a little nervous, well, I don't know. I could appreciate it, but I'm not sure.
Yes. So I love that you guys are saying all this seriously. You're doing my job for me. So this is huge of what we do to break down those barriers, because there should never be barriers to music or music participation. Like I said, it's for everyone. It's really universal. But to your point, the first point you made was you feel like you need to know a lot. what does it mean to be movements, or when are the movements, or what are the measures, or I don't even read music. I don't play music. When you go to a movie, you don't think about, I don't know how to jump out of a building. Like you don't, right?
That's true.
When you go to see a
Touche.
Broadway show, you don't think about, I don't know how to act. Like I can't act and dance. I shouldn't go see a Broadway show. But there isn't that, right? Because you're just seeing it as entertainment. You're just going there to be entertained. But for some reason, when people think of orchestra, they're like, okay, I need to be a professional. I need to know all of this stuff. And that's so not true. That's a very big stereotype. And then to your points, Timber, it's perfect because it's not somewhere you see yourself. Like the stereotypes, the typical stereotypes, and I think you're right about TV and movies, probably. It's, a bunch of 80-year-old guys, 80-year-old white guys in tuxes playing their notes, and it's very boring and slow and somber music, and you have to sit there appropriately dressed in your suit that you don't want to be dressed in, clapping, like this with, in the appropriate times only, right? And show very little emotion. None of that. Like 0% of that is true. Zero.
You forgot the monocle.
Oh God, yes. Please wear your monocle.
Please
Okay,
wear your
that part's
monocle.
true. No, that part's true. We do insist on the men wearing monocles. No, but that's so true. Like, that's just what people have in their head. I don't know. Is it Bugs Bunny? Like, what put this in our head? I don't know. I really don't know where that comes from, but we have to tear down the stereotype of that's absolutely not who we are. I don't care what you're wearing. Nobody ever is going to come up to you and go, oh my God, I can't believe you wore that to the symphony. We could care less. Like, it matters not at all. You don't need to know a lick about music, nothing. We're there for that. Like, we're the ones playing music. We're never going to have you come up and do a bassoon solo, I promise. Well, maybe, just for fun. But no, like, you don't need to know anything coming in. You just need to come in, be yourself, whoever that may be. We don't care. It doesn't matter. It's just about enjoying the music. Because, again, just like we talked about with who makes up the orchestra, you're going to be sitting in the audience next to somebody who... Think about how divided we are right now politically, right? You might be sitting next to somebody who's completely opposite of your point of view. You're not thinking about that. That has nothing to do with the whole evening. Or the economy is bad right now. You're not going to be in there thinking about, bills and how bad the economy is. That's not what this is. It's all of that just falls away, and you're all just here to enjoy music. And that's hard. It's hard to break down that stereotype of I don't belong here. Mm-hmm. This isn't for me. Why not?
Well, I know that from past conversations we've been able to have, I know that you've put this particular symphony has put a lot of effort into that and into being thoughtful and inclusive in not just what I will say is the environment in which the orchestra is performing, but then the compositions that are picked.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Can you share about that and some of the conversations surrounding that and the thoughtfulness? Because what I'm hoping for is that the Appleton engaged listener walks away and says, I want to go.
I hope so. I hope we see them all. Yes, I want to see everybody there. Come up and say hi to me personally because I want to know you were there. So it started, the core mission of it started really. We hired our music director, Dr. Kevin Suderlin, back in the 18-19 season. And ever since then, except for those horrible years when we couldn't be on stage, the time which must not be named. That was hard as an arts organization. Mm-hmm. But ever since we hired Kevin, it's been core mission to have representation on stage and in the house. So part of, I don't feel comfortable going, this place isn't for me. Part of that is we want you to see yourself up on stage or know that we are inclusive of that community, whatever your community may be. So all communities. It's not just one kind of person that comes to the symphony or that performs in the symphony. So that's something Kevin tries to program on every single concert we do. we have a joke between us that we can't play dead white guys. We can't just play dead white guys. So it's not your Mozart and Beethoven every single time. Not that we don't love the classics. We will always, stick to the standards, always, because that's what everybody loves and what everybody wants to hear. But you also have to include living composers, women composers, underrepresented composers, LGBTQ composers. Every community should be represented in the music we're playing. And that also goes for the guest artists who are performing with us. We want you to be inspired when you see somebody from your community up on stage or talking with us. And we do a really great thing called the pre-concert talk. And right before the concert, about half an hour before the concert, you come into the small theater, Kimberly Clark, which is next to the big theater, and our conductor talks with our guest artists. Or if they're living composers, we'll bring the composers here to town. And the composers can tell us all about the music and the background. So for people that don't know anything about music, it's really interesting because that adds a whole layer to the music that you didn't even know about. And I'll give you an example. We had this past March, we had composer Jose Elizondo came and stayed with us. And he stayed with us for an entire week. This man, he was so charming and so fabulous and warm and friendly. And oh my God, we just adopted him. We just want him to stay here forever. But he was able to he went into the middle school and he worked with an art class. And we had the kids made an art project to go with the composition of his. And then he was able to go to the pre-concert talk, and he spoke so eloquently. He had this whole storyline behind his piece of music and then the night it was about a noble knight and his adventure. And he told this entire story to the whole audience of people. Now, if you don't know how to play music, that's fine. Like, that had nothing to do with the storyline that he had built up. So he was like, okay, so about halfway through, you're going to hear this part. And when the violins get quiet, and then you'll hear the flute come in. And that means like the fairy is talking to the prince. And he just went into this whole thing. And it was amazing. Everybody was just the whole audience was just completely with him and followed along with him. And I just think that made the experience so much richer rather than just, coming in and listening to music and leaving. And that's another thing we do, too, to build community is after the concert, we have a post-concert reception in the lobby. So we have, tables of food and everybody just hangs out and just talks. So it's not, again, tearing down those barriers. It's not the orchestra is up on stage and they're this elite thing that's distant from us. And we have to sit in the hall and be quiet and clap when we're only appropriate. We don't care when you clap. We don't care what you're wearing. We don't care about that stuff. You're going to see us out in the lobby. You're going to see the musicians. You're going to see the conductor. You're going to see the guest artists out in the lobby because we want to talk to you. We want to hear what you thought or what part did you like or what part didn't you like or, it's that kind of community building event. So, yeah, it's not just you come and sit quietly and listen to us play. It really is building that community.
Full engagement.
Yeah, full engagement. It's the only way to do it, I think.
Yeah, and as you're talking, I'm thinking full engagement of the community, right? You're bringing all these different people together from different places, but also almost a full engagement of self.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's sensory experience while also learning, while also just being where you are at that time. And then when you add in, the little after, if you have any food or anything like that, it's really a full experience.
You get to come and have snacks, and then you get to go up to the composer and tell him. And it's not like the composer's not sitting behind a table, all elusive. He's standing next to you, and you guys are sharing snacks, and you're telling him, "Oh, I really love this piece. It had so much energy." It's just fun, And a good part about this too is we bring a lot of students to the hall. We have a youth orchestra, and Lawrence Music Academy also has their students come to our concerts. So we want kids to come and we want kids to see, again, themselves up on stage. Whatever part of the community they're from, we want them to see themselves up there and go, I can do that. Or I talked to that composer and he was so cool. I want to do that. That's really fun. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be, wow, how do you get to be part of this weird elite society that I know nothing about? That's not what we are at all.
I think that this is one of the reasons that I like Appleton so much in this area is because you have people who are extremely talented and gifted and who will come together and do these beautiful things. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's not such a big city that you lose the sense of the connectedness and you can really build a community.
Right. Yeah, it's not Like, you're not just going to see us up on stage. That's a really good point. Because again, we're, a lot of them are teachers in the school system. So you're seeing your teacher up there, or your dentist, or, whatever the case may be. Or like, we're going to be at Copper Rock having a cup of coffee. Come and say hi. Like, oh, there's the conductor, walking down College Avenue. That's cool. Just say hi. Like, we are part of the community. So yeah, we're all one.
All right. Can you please share a narrative that will help our listeners understand the importance of the symphony?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, I think the Jose example is a really good one of how it can bring so many people together so quickly and so easily. But we also do outreach programming.
Ooh.
So one of the things we do is In Harmony. We have an In Harmony program. And it's really, again, about taking down those barriers to participation. So our In Harmony program works with special needs students and adults. And it's amazing because we go into these classrooms, and some of the special needs classrooms, I mean, they work so hard, to give a good life to these kids or these adults. We also do like a memory care facilities, so Alzheimer's folks. And we go in with a string quartet and a music therapist, and they will play, the string quartet plays, and the people listening, the audience, if you want to call them an audience, we consider them participations. They're musicians for a day. So they also get to make music. We have, we have drums, we have handbells, we have things for them to play. But there's also movement components. So there's dancing, there's stretchy bands, there's scarves they get to twirl at different points, in. So it's active. So it's again, finding ways to connect with different parts of the community. These are people, for the most part, both kids and adults, that would not come to the PAC for a concert. It's not going to happen. So we go to them and we make music a part of their day. And it's so moving because the teacher or something will say, okay, well, this one's, he's not going to interact. He never interacts. He's just going to sit over in the corner and, do his own thing. Well, okay, let's see what happens. And then, by the end of it, they're usually the ones who are most engaged and dancing. It just brings them out of their shell in a comfortable way. So again, that's that music binding factor. So it's not even just on our stage. It's in schools or in assisted living facilities or wherever we happen to be. So that's what I really mean by this. We try to be a part of the community, not just, we're going to play 5 times a year on the big stage. Come and see us there. Because that's not really fair, I think. I don't think it's fair to expect the entire community to come to us. So we have to come to the community wherever they may be.
Well, speaking of that, in the beginning, you talked about an event you have coming up in July.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is, where it is, and how we could attend?
Absolutely. So as soon as, usually if I say I'm from Fox Valley Symphony, somebody will say, oh my God, do you do that thing out at the Timber Eller Stadium? Yes, we do. And we love it. So we're out at Fox City Stadium. And this is really our gift to the community, because the community supports us, of course. We have donors and sponsors from the community. So this is our gift back to them. And this is an absolutely free event. So if you've never come to a concert, this is the one to try. Because this really is a little something for everyone. Because again, if you can't, you're probably not going to take a family of 6 to an orchestra concert. We want you to, please do that. But, you might not be able to do that for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. So just come out to the stadium for free. Parking is free. Admission is free. Grab yourself a hot dog and a beer. You can sit down in the stands. There's ADA seating, so you can bring grandma and grandpa. You can have little kids come with you. They can play in the play area while mom and dad have a hamburger and some popcorn and watch a full symphony orchestra concert. So the first part of it is kind of more pops and classic music. And then the second half of it is more of a rock orchestra concert. Last year we played Purple Rain, and we had like purple fireworks shooting out of the stage. It was fantastic.
Oh my, yes.
It was amazing. It was my favorite moment. That was one of my favorite moments. And then after the concert, we have a big fireworks display.
Oh.
So, I mean, if you can't find something to enjoy in that day, I can't help you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you're sitting next to people that you might not see ever in the community. So it really brings absolutely everybody together. There is no barriers to this concert whatsoever. Everybody should feel welcome and included.
Yeah, I'm feeling welcome. I think I'm going to include myself.
You better include yourself. I want to see you there.
Yeah, I think I probably will too.
Come on.
Okay, so you said that last year you did Purple Rain and you had fireworks. Is there a theme this year? And if so, is it a secret or are you allowed to tell us?
I don't think there's really a theme.
Okay.
There's definitely a lot more classic rock this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it away. I won't give it away.
Fair.
Okay.
No,
But it's going to be fun. It's going to
be a
fun.
good time.
Yeah.
So, listeners, if you like classic rock,
this is the place.
that's
This is
the place.
Is there anything the community can do to be helpful to
Yeah.
to the programs and the symphony itself?
Well, I mean, the simple standard answer is always you can donate to us and help us, serve our mission. That's always good. You can go to foxvalleysymphony.com. Right up at the top, there's a donate button. So that's the standard answer. But the answer that I want everybody listening to really think about is how can you help me make these connections? Whatever part of the community you're from, and if you, like Timber said, that doesn't really seem for me or I don't really belong, you do. So you got to get in touch with me and find out how can we make that work? Like, what part of the community are you from and why don't you feel included? And how can I get your group? Who's in your group? Like, who are your group of friends? Who do you want to see at the orchestra? How can I make that happen for you? How can I bring you in and make you see, okay, you really do belong here. Or, okay, I really am comfortable here. I don't know why I was so nervous about it. So really, all of the listeners today, I really want you to think about how can I help make those connections? Because we want to see you. We're here for you. We're playing this music for you. We're not serving you if you're at home on your couch.
Yeah. Well, this was really informative and it was a fun conversation.
Awesome.
I'm
Thank you.
excited to go to some of the symphonies.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I want to see you both there for sure.
Yeah.
How do people get in contact with you?
They can email me at Jamie, Jamie, at foxvalleysymphony.com. Or you can, all the usual places. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. And we also have a website. But yeah, I'll always get in touch with me. We love giving away free tickets, believe it or not.
Oh,
So there you go.
I will be sure. What we will be sure to do is put the information in the podcast notes. So,
Yes, please.
listeners, please check there if you have an interest in connecting.
And if you have never been to an orchestra concert or feel like you don't belong, I'm going to give you a pack of tickets and you're going to get your friends and you're going to come and see us and you're going to tell me if you're right. I hope you're not.
That sounds great.
That's an offer you can't refuse.
That's true.
Good.
All right. Next step is, as the guest, you get an opportunity to do shout outs.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. Who might you want to shout out?
Well, I want to shout out to all the people who got us here and who keep us here. So our sponsors, our donors. Some of our donors have honestly been with us for 50 years, honestly. Some of our donors go back to the very first time we performed. So that's really an amazing part of this community. So thank you to our donors and our sponsors who stick with us and help us to make these connections. Thank you all.
All right. Well, we're going to start wrapping up. Podcast listeners, please know we are a work in progress, but we're always trying to improve. If you would like to be a guest, if you have ideas or suggestions on how to make the show better, please reach out to us at diversity@appleton.org. Once again, that's diversity@appleton.org. And also, so we can reach more listeners and people can find out about the shows, please tell your friends and family from the community about Appleton Engaged. But take the time to subscribe to the podcast and also leave us reviews. That's what helps others find out about what I'm going to say is an awesome podcast.
You don't want to miss any of these. You want to get them all.
No, I don't think so.
There's a lot of opportunity here to be learning about the community, how we can be involved, and what resources we already have that.
It's crazy. I've lived here
can
for
use.
16 years and I learn something every day that I did not know we had in the area. It's fantastic.
All right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. This was really wonderful. I appreciate that you all let me be a part of this conversation. And Jamie, it was so great to have you.
Great being here. Thanks, guys, for the opportunity.
Thank you.